What's going on, y'all? It's your boy MoashDMC back again, and today I got a special video for you guys. Today we're not going to be talking about One Piece, but the One Piece trading card game, because as you know, I'm MoashDMC and I talk about all things One Piece. And today we're going to be going over our run in the Eggman case tournament that happened yesterday with our leader, the blue yellow ace. And I cannot lie, we ended up going 6-1, making it to top cut, and then losing in the first round of top cut 2-0 or 0-2. That's neither here nor there. It was a good run. I did learn a lot physically during the match and after the match, watching the video over again. And today I just wanted to go over not only the deck list, some of my choices I made, but also some of the games I played. And looking at this list right here, we have 1 Makino, 4 Flampe, 3 Garp, 3 Hioris, 4 baby Luffys and baby aces, 4 Pudding, 4 Porcus the Ace, the new blocker, 4 Rush Ace, 4 of the new Rocket Luffy, 4 Satori, 4 of the Monkey D Luffy, 3 Boas, 2 Amarus, and 2 Gravity Raging Tiger Blaze, or Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. I'm not gonna lie, the 1 Makino, you're looking at it like, why is that there? It's not only because I don't have another Hiyori, it's because I can't necessarily run 5 Flampes, and I think it's a good median being able to look at the top of my life and sort of organize it if it's a turn 1 turn, because sometimes you may try to be really aggressive and play down the Rush Ace with the baby combo if you have it in hand. But for the most part, I did like this list. I've been teching it since the beginning of the set release. I just got my hands on the new Boa, so I bumped it up to 3. Originally, I was only running 2. Pudding, I was originally running only 2 as well, but I bumped it up to 4, because I think the key part of this deck is to make it as consistent as possible is adding the Garp. Originally, I didn't have the Garp at all and had Pironas. The Pironas were really interesting choice for a while, but after a while, I felt like if I didn't see Garp or if I didn't see the babies, the deck kind of fell apart. But it really hunches or really crutches on the 4-drop Pudding, because honestly speaking, the 4-drop Pudding makes so all the matchups are possible to win. And if this deck high rolls, it's probably one of the best decks in the game, because you're constantly swinging 7, you're constantly filling the board. And obviously you have the leaders out there like Law that can remove characters, you have Lucci that can remove characters, but at the same time the constant pressure does add up really quickly, and them not being able to swing back into your leader is a detriment to their gameplay as well, and them having to use resources to get rid of your board on top of that. But the biggest thing or the hardest matchup for our deck right now is the binding matchup, and luckily we were able to dodge binding for the most of the tournament, but I still teched out some things, obviously the Boa Hancock and the Raging Tiger Blaze to go against Boa, but go against binding, but we never actually get to see it. Some of the good matchups we have a 50-50 to me with Lucci. With Enel, I think it's more 60-40 with Enel. With Black Yellow Luffy, I felt that it was probably our best or most favorable matchup, but that didn't play out too well in the top 16 cut, as I got 2-0 by a Black Yellow Luffy. The guy he played it really good, and he saw literally everything, and I bricked up pretty badly, and I also had some misplays. Unfortunately, when I recorded that game, I couldn't really see my vantage point, because Eggman and the Strongest Wizard were both in the call as well, so it made it hard to record all 4 screens at the same time. So I just hid them, and I just had my opponent's screen up on my board. So I'm just gonna wait for Eggman to release his side of the video, and then we'll go over it from our vantage point and some of the plays we made and a lot of the misplays we made that after watching the film, I definitely could have learned from, and it definitely would have helped if I had seen it in the moment, but I didn't. But going over the deck list a little bit more, like I said, the Makino, the Flampe is one of the perfect cards from EB. Not only if you miss on the, say you don't have the pieces, the babies, or you don't have all the pieces to get your lead to a 7K, having Flampe as a security blanket to not only draw the card from the top of your life, but also draw another card, it makes it amazing, especially with Satori being in the deck, because Satori really doesn't have a place in the deck, but you can play him at the top of your life. You play a Flampe because not only do you replace a 2K, but you also draw a card you can possibly draw into another 2K. Especially if you have 5-drop ace, you can actually see what's on the top of your deck as well. Hiyori is a saving grace, being able to not only take the top of your life but also play something back in it, and we'll go over that in one of the games where that play was probably the game-saving play with Hiyori. Like I said, Pudding, magical. Ace makes this list so much better. The 5-drop blocker Ace makes this list really viable, because not only can you set the top of your life, but you can also set plays for the next turn. And I think on your 9-down turn, having Porcus the Ace in hand and possibly playing him, and then setting up your top life, and then dropping down another body, possibly a Rush Ace, and then getting your lead to 7K and swinging 9 at face is perfect. Rocket Luffy, what can I say? It helps you draw, it helps you control board a little bit more. Satori, self-explanatory, is a 2K, 5 cards you can put to the top of your life. Monkey D Luffy, he's he's like he's the big swing. Like you got, obviously you have your ace that can rush, but also being able to swing 8k, not necessarily for free, but in case you don't have the pieces, like I said earlier, you can use them to like sack a life and then draw a card, but also bump them up to 8k. But with Hancock being able to play her on 10 down turn, playing her, and then doing the Luffy, the ace effect is big. And I teched in the Amaru because a lot of the times I felt that at the end of games that sometimes they can just block her up and you really have no way to get around it, especially with Lucci. Lucci's blockers are roughly around 4Ks. You obviously have the Sabos that are 5. You just, hopefully you don't run into a 5-drop blocker, but obviously we have Rage Attack Blades for that. But Amaru can rest the blocker and go for game. And we're going to talk about why I wasn't 7-0 going into that top cut, and now I was actually 6-1. And without further ado, let's get into some gameplay. I feel like I talked enough about the deck. Leave the comments down below. What do you guys think? Have you guys played the blue level ace? What would you guys add? What would you guys take out? And do you guys enjoy the leader at all? Without further ado, let's get right into the first game. So I have this little sped up. So against Lucci's our first game. We're going second. I think I won the dice roll and I decided to go second. We play on the GARP, hopefully looking for a baby. We don't really want to search like the 5 drops, because when we search those 5 drops and put them in hand, it kind of makes it like a little clunky at times, because we don't really want to tap out 5 down for them unless it's a blocker ace. So most of the time we are looking for the baby. I think I'm contemplating right now, I think using a 𝒊𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉, because I think a 𝒊𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉 just to like sack my life to get me a little bit closer to that rush ace possibility, because I just drew him with GARP. But I was like, you know what, it may not be the best idea to do that right now with Lucci, because I don't know how it's going to play out a little bit later on. And he goes 6. I'm just going to take it. A lot of the times I do want to take my life really early and really fast, because if I see the baby ace in hand, I want to set up the rush ace almost the very next turn. All right, so we're going into my 4 down turn. This turn I probably do want to establish a body. And if not, then I want to really swing face to try to get some cards out of hand, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I either want to get some cards out of hand or force him to take life. And he counters out with the Rebecca, and then we swing 6. And right now, the reason why I'm doing this is because I think I am trying to set up the rush ace, and I don't want to put him down so early where I can't actually rush with him. So I'm just waiting for him to swing at my face himself. And I think I just passed turn. I don't think he heard me when I said pass turn, but he's going now into his 5 down turn, expecting him to try to establish a body as well. If not, if he's just swinging heavy at face, I really don't care. Obviously, I'm just trying to remember some of these matches from the top of my head. A lot of these were I did wake up pretty late before this. Not late, I went to bed really late and I woke up really early for this, so I was very tired going into this, and that really played a big factor in this one. And I think he plays a Rebecca just to draw another card from life. I mean, just to get another 2k out of his trash. I'm not sure why it keeps freezing like that. Sorry about that. But going into my 3rd down turn now. Now I want to try to find the rush ace. I want to see a rush ace at the top of my life. So I tap 2, attach 2, look at the top 5, looking for that rush ace. Hopefully I see it. And we do. So we see it, and that's like perfect. Now we're fully in momentum now. We have full control of the game right now. Even though he has Rebecca on board, that's completely fine. And if he removes the rush ace, he can't really do nothing else besides remove the rush ace next turn. So we bring out the ace, and I think we swing 9-9. Okay, we swing 8. I'm not sure why I didn't swing 9-9 here. I think I'm probably, yeah, okay. I swung 9-10. I've been 8-10. Not really sure why, but maybe, okay, I think I did that because I wanted him to use a Rebecca blocker for the ace, and then I wanted him to not put out. I've versed some Lucci players who will use the 3 cards to counter out, and I wanted to make it 10 so that he makes it more awkward for him. Because sometimes when people hear the number 10, they're like, you know what, I really don't want to counter out of this. I'm just gonna take it. So now, like, he's like in perfect range for like a pudding next turn, especially with us going into our 8 down turn. We can pudding and still use a leader effect. But I'm not really sure what he does this turn. Like I said, a lot of these games they kind of just came and went. But let's let it play out and see what he does. But he has like a hefty amount of cards in hand right now. Like I said, I'm not really sure why he keeps freezing like that. Let's see if I can let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure. But he goes and he swings 8. It's an easy 2k out. Now he only has 4 down to operate with now. Yes, he can possibly still, like, with the stage card, it's very possible that he can still remove my my ace. I think he swung 2 and then I think he swung 2 minus the ace by 1, and then he tapped stage, put him down to 2, and then Lucci's and KO's 2 of them. And right now, like I said, I'm completely fine with this, because with Lucci, you have to expect that a lot of the cards you play out are going to be removed, and that's why I try to go for the high value plays against Lucci, and that's why I look for the rush ace combo very early on to try to start tapping at his life a little bit more. because on-play cards against black are like the best cards, because a lot of the times they won't stick around for a turn or two to even get value from them. But I'll tell you why, like this is the one game that I felt very confident in, and I'll tell you why later on, why I felt I'll tell you a little bit later on the misplay that happens, but I'm not trying to spoil it for you guys. I want you guys to stick around next you watch it. All right, now I'm at 8 down. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. And I'm counting. I'm trying to look at his trash. Say, okay, what does he have in his trash? Right now he owns a Rebecca, a Kaku, another Lucci, and a Khalifa. So he can possibly do like a Moira play next turn with like an Ice Age or something like that to get rid of a lot of. If I did go for the two, if I did go for another blocker situation, but I'm not really sure what I did here. So I'm just trying to just sit and watch. I think the best thing to do is, like I said, still do leader ability. And I'm like, okay, trying to count out to see if I could still do leader ability on something else. And I think I'm going for the pudding play here. I'm saying instead of using leader ability, I'm just going to swing 9 at face. Hopefully he takes it. And he does. And I start rolling the dice. At that point, I start counting the dice and make sure I know exactly where he's going. And then I just drop the pudding. And like I said, a lot of the times, depending if you know this matchup or just know blue in general, like if they have the counter in hand in this stage in the game, they would definitely use it. So swinging 9 was like a gut check to see, okay, is he going to he's going to take it or is he going to count out? If you're going to count out, that's 3 cards. I think at that point he had 8 cards, so he would. It still would have worked out the same way because he would have went down to 5, and I still would have probably dropped the pudding again regardless because no matter what, the pudding makes the person you're playing against rethink everything, because they say they had plays in their head, in their mind already made up for the next turn. Dropping the pudding regardless at whatever point in the game always makes them rethink what they had planned for the next turn. Sometimes they may draw into a better hand, sometimes they may not. So it's a gamble sometimes, because sometimes they may have no counter in hand. You just gave them like 3 2Ks to counter out, or with Enel you gave him all the big bodies he needed. It is a gamble because you don't know what they're going to draw into, but it always makes them rethink their next turn and changes it up. So here my leader is a base 5K, and even though he has Lucci on the board, so you can definitely swing twice, I think because of what I had in my hand, I felt more comfortable just playing the pudding out than anything else, than trying to go back up to a 7K leader. So like I said, because I play the pudding, now he has to rethink the plays he had in his hand, because I know before he probably had something already planned for me, or already planned to counter out or be more aggressive, maybe even drop the Moria or something like that. But he does a Lucci effect. He swings a base 5, and at this point, I think since I went second, I have a lot of cards in my hand, but I don't really mind taking more life because I have enough to counter out. Or even if I go 0, I still will feel confident. So you swing 6. Definitely just going to 2K out of this. I think I'm trying to decide which 2K I want to cast out, whether the 𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉 or a Hiyori. But this is like my first. Like I'm just waking up. Like I had some wine the night before, so I'm drinking my coconut water on the side, and like I'm just trying to like get back into the groove of things. So I casted a 𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉, and he goes double blocker with Sabo and Borsalino, and I think this is like perfect for me. I think I just like Raging Tiger Blaze and just then I swing 6 at the Lucci. Could be wrong. Okay, no. So I go leader ability. Look at the top 5. Let's see. This was the first game of the day, so I'm not really remembering what actually happened in it. But for the most part, I think I played ace. So I'm hoping that I have rush ace. Like I have the rush capabilities or the baby piece to capitalize on this rush ace that I found at the top. Okay, so I'm separating my down for 2, so looks like I do have it. Do I have Boa here? Oh no, okay, I swing 6 at the Rob Lucci. He spawned them, so okay. Now we know he has to spawn them in hand, so it's like, oof. Okay, we tap 2. So we do get we do have the pieces for the rush ace. So that right now we're feeling really confident. So I go up to 9. So now I'm looking at, I don't know where I swing at. So we're gonna swing 8 probably at the Rob Lucci. try to get rid of him on board. We also might be just going for life just to try to see. Yeah, we want to get him down to that range where we can possibly kill him next turn, and we just swing 9 at face. Any leader abilities? I mean, leader ability. He blocks with Porcelino. We tap 1 for another guard because we're trying to look for another baby, for sure. I think we draw a blocker right here. Anytime now, bro. Oh, so we do find the baby. Okay, so that's actually even better than finding a blocker. And with the 2 down left, I think I tap these 2 and I play out Hiyori. Yep, I tap these 2, I play out Hiyori, I take my top life, and I believe I put the Raging Tiger Blaze at the top of my life right here, and I say go. So right now, I'm feeling pretty in control of the game, and to be honest, I think at this point in the game, when I drop the pudding down, I have my ace down, he's at 1 life, and only 2 characters on board. I feel like I'm pretty much not only in control of the game, but I feel like I have game within the next 2 turns, and I'm not scared of losing the game. So with blue yellow ace, you kind of get a feel like mostly mid game, because a lot of people don't know how to play after they get hit with the pudding, especially if you have that many cards in hand. And in the earlier rounds, I felt like this is kind of like how my opponent was going as well. I felt like after the pudding, he felt a little bit like more hesitant in his plays. He didn't really know like what he wanted to do in certain aspects or in certain areas. Obviously, there are certain players who know how to play through a pudding. So he drops the Tempest Kick. I think he lowers the ace, and I asked him to see what's in trash just to make sure. I was trying to see if he's going for a Moria play or not. He taps the H, now ace is basically a 0 cost. And I think he drops a 8 drop Sabo here. Yeah, tap 8. Oh, he taps 1 more. And he plays a Spondine, okay, or Spondum. Top 5, probably grabs another Tempest Kick for the future. Oh, he grabs a Stussy. That's interesting. I mean, at this point, you don't really know what's in my deck, so Garp and Ace are the 2 he should have grabbed. But yeah, I asked him for the Stussy. I see what he wanted. Okay, so he basically just used the Stussy as a pitch card for Sabo. And right now on my 10 down turn, I'm like, okay, I think I can still last another turn even with how things are going right now. So I think I just boa the Sabo. So now I'm looking for the ace blocker. I mean, I'm looking for an ace, and I find a Luffy. All right. Oh, with Luffy, the reason why I like Luffy a lot as well, because he kind of can control the 4 drops a little bit easier than a lot of other cards. Like I was originally running the 3,000 worlds to get rid of 5 drops, or 4 to get rid of the 4 and 5 costs. But I also like Rocket Luffy because sometimes you may just like play him out and just use his ability right away to get rid of something on the board and also draw a card. So right now I'm just trying to do the math and see like, okay, if I do this, can I survive the next turn? And it could be a situation where I don't even have the baby Luffy and I'm just like kind of like baiting him to trying to like make it seem like I do. But I feel like I do have the baby Luffy. I don't. Okay, so I don't have the baby Luffy. I swing 9 into Rob Lucci. And he blocks with Sabo, which is like, oh my god, that's perfect. So then I tap, and I'm trying to count, like I was trying to think if I should use a 2K in hand to grab the Luffy back and do something else, but I use the Boa and I freeze the Sabo and I trash Luffy. And the thing right here is that I always forget that Boa has a second ability. Like I always freeze a character, but I always forget the bottom deck part of it. And that actually comes later up it actually comes back to bite me later in some of my games. But right now, this should only be a Sabo. Sabo should be rested. There should only be a Sabo and a Lucci on board. There should be no Spondine or Spondum. So then he plays the Sabo out, and I'm just like, oh, perfect. If he swings into me at a 5K body, actually, to be honest, I think the reason why I kept it at 5K. 5 cost is because I wanted him to swing into my leader. Okay, I remember now. In case he played a blocker, because I was gonna counter out early, and then if he swung into my life after he played a blocker, then I would have played it differently. So he swings 5. I know the 7's coming, so I think I just counter out 1K for this. Okay, no, okay. I just Gravity Blade the Sabo. Yeah, the blocker Sabo. And then he swings 7 at face. And I'm like, okay, that's easy 2K, 1K. And right now is when I felt like the order of where that places my cards should be coming back to the top of my board, top of my deck. And I know for a fact that I've gone through at least almost 30 cards, I think, or close to 30 cards. I think I've seen 30 or 33 cards at this point. So I know that I should be seeing the thing I want to see. And I know it's going to be in the top of like the top 5 or 6, the top 5 to 7 cards in my life. So I use Ace ability to see if I see it. And at this point, I don't. But I know now I know where it is. So it's not in my top 5. So it has to be in the next 2. And me pulling the blocker ace is like perfect. Now I know I'm going to see what I want to see after I use the ace ability. But like I said, this is my first game after waking up, and he wants to know like, oh, I thought it was only 5 cards you can put in your life. I was like, yeah, this is a 5 cost blocker. It's a new one. So it's like, okay. So then I'm like, okay, I'm trying to count out. Okay, it's like right now only has 3 cards in hand. Can I go for a game right now? I was like, I can go for a game if I see the card I want to see. But if I can't see the card I want to see, I want to clear board. Right. So I'm counting it out. I'm like trying to count out how many cards he could possibly have in hand and how many counters he has. I saw his trash a couple times. He hasn't really used that many 2Ks. He took a lot of life, but he only has 3 cards in hand. He has to use a lot of resources to not only control my board, but also like try to get some swings at my face as well. So right now I'm still trying to count in my head, like, okay, whether I'm gonna go for it or not. And with this, I'm kind of like counting it out. I'm like, okay, I'm like, if it's like it should be in the top of my life, but I don't want to risk it and it not be, because if it's not, then I kind of just like throw the game. So I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, can I just like swing and without using it and get there? But I'm not really sure at this point. I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna go for it and see if I can find the card I want to find within the top of my life. So I tap 2, I play out ace, and I grab ace and I pull it out and I draw 2, and I find the card, right? And at this point, I'm like, now I'm trying to do the math of like what I can put back in my life and what I can play. But I find the card that I want to use, right? And because I was looking at it for so long, I literally have a complete like mind fart in the situation, right? I'm like, right now my leader's at 9K and I have an 8K bow on board and I still have 6 down left. He only has 3 cards in hand. At most, if they're all 2Ks, he can get himself up to 11. So I can use 𝑻𝒊𝒌𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉, put rest Boa, put Boa up to 11, swing 11, he has to take it, and then I swing 13, and if he has 13, then I just lose, right? So I put the 𝑻𝒊𝒌𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉 back in the top of my life, and at this point I'm realizing it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? So now I just swing at Lucci to hopefully just get rid of the Lucci. And I think he just uses all his cards to protect him. I'm like in my head right now, I'm like, okay, I know I just kind of just threw that because I had game. So like he blocks that. So I swing 9 again at the Lucci. And I just tap 5, and I was like, well, so I swing 7 at Lucci again. So in my mind, I saw the rush ace, and then I saw the 𝑻𝒊𝒌𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉, and I just don't know what I was thinking, but I put my 𝑻𝒊𝒌𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉 back to the top of my life. And then like you saw when I swung with my leader, I was like, wait, why did I just do that? I literally had it. I put it back. I just had a mind fart, and literally he top decks the exact card he needs. I mean, Lucci has a plethora of ways to KO my blocker, but he top decks a Kaku 2. He taps the stage, puts it down to 3, plays Kaku, and he swings 15 or 16, and I just didn't have it. And it was GG. That was the game. That was the first game I lost in the day, and I was like, in my mind, I'm like, right now, I'm just talking it out. I just want to see how many cards he had in hand if I were to swing for phase with the 𝑻𝒊𝒌𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉, and I would have got it. And in my head, I'm low-key like mad at myself. I'm like, wow, I literally was looking for that card and I put that card back on top of my life. But that was the first game. It was not the greatest. Obviously, it wasn't the greatest game because I had that fudge up. But I was like, okay, I was mad, but like most of the time in this set, a lot of games are gonna go overtime because of Bonnie and Enel. They can stall for a very long time. So I was like, you know what? Let me just recuperate and move on to the next game. So the second game now, we're reversing Enel, and like I said, to me, I think the Enel match is like 60-40. If I see, especially not even if I high roll, if I just see a pudding, I feel elated against Enel because Enel wants to take life, just like Black Luffy wants to take life. And if you drop a pudding, it's more or less GG for them, or not GG, but it puts you in the driver's seat. Whereas most of the time, you'd feel like Enel is in the driver's seat. So I mulligan. Let's skip ahead a little bit. And I went first. I think I lost a dice roll and he chose to go second. So then I was like, pass. I was thinking about playing a Flampe, but I was like, maybe not against Enel. Let's just see how it goes. And he plays it very interesting. It's like a very interesting way to play. And he doesn't swing at my face early. He doesn't play anything first turn. He doesn't play anything first turn. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then I just swing 8 at phase. He takes it. And I think he had a Flampe in hand, he just didn't want to play it. He goes to 4 Don, and I think he's playing the long game because I think he just passes without swinging again. And at that point, I'm like, okay, then maybe I can just play my Flampe and be calm because I'm not really going to be countering out anything. And I think he just passes. I was like, okay, cool. So I go to 5 Don now. I think he has like 8 cards in hand after the draw and the life swing. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. Let's see how he's going to play this out. I was thinking about using an ace effect, but I'm like, you know what? Let's just swing 5. Let's see what he does. And he just takes it. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I just tap 5. I think I just play out my blocker to try to set up the next play, the baby ace play. I'm like, if he doesn't swing at life, since I'm at 4 life, I can confidently play out a 5 drop and not really have to worry about anything. Maybe Kingdom Come, but I don't think he would waste the next turn just to get rid of an ace. So then I just draw 2 and I put 2 at the top of my life. Right now, he's decided if he wants to swing or not, and he just taps 4 and plays out a Frankie. That's fine with me. Why does it freeze? It's freezing a lot. Sorry about that. And then I don't think he swings again. I think he taps. Yeah, he doesn't swing again. He plays out a Frankie and just passes. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? But I just, like I said, I just set up my top 5. So then I play out the Rocket Luffy, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm trying to think, do I pudding this turn? I think I do pudding this turn. Or, no, okay, I don't put in this turn. I play out Rocket Luffy. I go up to 7. I play out... I can't... And in this part, I realize I can't use his ability because of I'm only at 3 life. But I just swing 9 at face. I still have 3 up. He takes... I'm like, okay, cool. Next thing he can do is go to 8 Don. So I'm not really afraid of anything. So I play a Flampe and just take life. And I say go with 2 Don up. I didn't want to play out a baby in case he has like a dot 2 and just KO it. So I was like, all right, whatever. I pass. He's at 8 Dons right now. And I think maybe he may play like a 𝑻𝒘𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉 or something like that. But he has 10 cards in hand. He hasn't really swung at my face. I'm not really sure why, but that was the strategy he was going with, which I've seen a lot of the times before. He plays out a Gadatsu for 5. He KOs that. And he just passes again without no swing. And I'm like, okay, cool. But now I don't think he realizes that my Luffy is I'm at 2 life and I can't just use my Luffy. So it's my 5 Don turn. I'm at 9. And now I'm like, okay, this is like if any blue player is like salivating at Enel, like they don't play anything. So I don't even do anything first. I just literally just play out the pudding just to get rid of his whole hand. I'm like, I'm either gonna swing, make him counter out, give him a free out, maybe a free cycle who takes it. No. Whatever you have in hand, whatever you have planned, you have to rethink it now because I'm dropping this pudding. So it was a really interesting strategy that he wasn't really doing much like during the in-betweens. He wasn't really swinging that phase. He wasn't really establishing board. But I think the reason why is because like everything in his hand was like top end, and even what he was drawing to, he didn't draw into any triggers, so most of them are probably top end. So I was like, you know what? It is what it is. Like he doesn't play anything, he doesn't swing at my face. Which I've seen a lot of times too with some Enel players. They try to starve you out. They don't want to swing at face. But with Flampe, I'm just like, I can just take my own life. So he counters out with him, and I use Luffy ability. Oh, I swing 5 twice. I swing 6 again. He asked me how many down I had. I had 5. Trash Rocket Luffy. And I tap ace to try to set up the next turn again. And I think I'm setting up a rush ace at this point. I'm surprised I didn't pop the Luffy. If I end up popping the Luffy at the end of my turn, that was a misplay. Okay, I don't. All right, so now I'm at 3 life. He has 𝒂𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉 and Frankie. So I'm like, he has to do one of two things. He has to swing on my board with, he has to swing on my face with Frankie to get me down to 2 life to set up my ace play. But he's also at 1 life with not that many cards in hand. So now he has to do that thought process. Well, am I going to heal or am I going to try to clear board? So it puts him in a bind, because if he doesn't heal, then he kind of sets himself up to go for game. And the fact that he plays Shirahoshi at this point in the game, I just already know that he has absolutely nothing in hand, and I'm pretty much like, I think I can go for game the very next turn. So with only 5 down left, he is deciding what he should do. All right, he swings 7 at, I believe, 1. Oh, he swings 8 at one of the 2, either life or one of the 2 rested characters. I would assume one of the 2 rested characters, because it'll help him for next turn. Yeah, so I save Rocket Luffy. And then he goes 6. And that's at Rocket Luffy again. I give him a 1. And then I think he goes 7. Oh, I remember why I say the Rocket Luffy now. I was thinking if he does play a Enel next turn, that if Rocket Luffy or Luffy's on board, that I would be fine. Oh, excuse me, I'll be fine with Rocket Luffy. I'll be fine getting rid of the Enel because Luffy's on board. I think that's what I went with. It wasn't probably, even if he does play a Enel, I think popping the Frankie is the better option, but he doesn't end up even swinging at Frankie, so it's like I didn't even need to use it. I'm at 10 down now. I just set up my top 2 plays, and I swing 7 at face to see what he's gonna go with, and he counters out with 8. I'm like, oh, okay. So now I just swing 7 again. I mean, he has to take it right now. Whatever I don't know what he put in trash. I mean, put in life. If it was a Onami, I'm still okay, 'cause I think I have enough. So he trashes the beige and he puts 2 in life. So I'm like, okay, now he has no cards in hand. So I'm like, all right, simple math. I just swing 5 here. He takes, no trigger. I'm like, okay. So I swing 7 here. And even if he has, like, the only thing that was saving is another circle, like, 0 cost event. And I just swing at face for, I think, 10. And I get it. So, or 11, and I get it. And he's just talking to me like, yeah, man, that pudding screwed me up. Because, like, yeah, he was playing for the top end. And when you play a pudding out against Enel, it kind of makes him have to rethink all his planned turns ahead. Obviously, he can draw back into those top ends, but he did not, unfortunately. And all he had was counter in hand. And I kind of ran him down. But going into the next game, we get another Rob Lucci player. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I have a strategy that I want to implement against Rob Lucci. I know how Rob Lucci plays. I'm completely confident. So, I'm cool. So I think he won the dice roll. He chose to go second. I'm going first. No turn 1 play. I say go. And with Rob Lucci, he said usually on turn 2 once he has spawned him or the stage, he doesn't do anything. So I'm like, okay, cool. I draw, and I think I just swing 8 again. I think I had the pudding in hand, so I'm like, you know what? I just want to make him draw cards. And right now, I think I'm like, okay, maybe I think I either have a 𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉 or a Garp in hand that I want to use a 1 Don for. So I swing 7. And if I don't use my 1 Don, I'll be really upset, because I'm like, if he counters out, then I'll be really upset. So I use 𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉 to draw, just to try to get ahead of myself a little bit more. I think I'm trying to set up the rush ace the next turn. So I use the 𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉 to put myself at 3, and if he swings, I go down to 2. So if I get a rush ace, I'm not only be up to 7, but I also swing 7-9 at face. Goes Rob Lucci, but the thing is, I'm like, I don't. Yeah, so I just take. Yeah, I'm definitely setting up. Hopefully, I'm setting up a rush ace play, because at that point, I would not want to take a 5 to face. In this situation, right, he plays the Borsellino, and I'm like, okay, that may be a little annoying, because sometimes they stick around for a long time. And in this situation, I look for the rush ace, and I think I whiff on the rush ace. Obviously, it's not going to be 100% all the time, but I might look through my hand. I'm like, okay, what can I do here with the card I'm gonna see? I think it's a Rocket Luffy, and I don't have the baby Luffy in hand. And I was like, you know what? Okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna play out the Rocket Luffy and organize my hand. Possibly, I don't. Sometimes Lucci, I do get back to the handout organized earlier on, but sometimes I don't. So it's whatever. And right now I'm like, okay, do I want to use a 𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉 to draw, or do I want to just like set up something else? So I end up using another 2K. So that's really that's 2 2Ks out of hand already to set up my Rocket Luffy. I try to shuffle my hand to make it seem like I'm looking for a different card to play back, so he doesn't play around it. I put that down and I just swing 8 at face. Hopefully he blocks. If not, he's gonna take it, and that's still setting me up for the pudding. Perfect. So he takes it. I'm completely fine with that. And right now he's not gonna want to use any KO cards. Maybe he might use a Lucci, but he doesn't have enough in trash to do that. Maybe he just might swing 5 to prepare for Lucci, but I think that would still be like kind of ill-advised. Obviously, you're establishing a 4-cost body, but I feel it's kind of just getting rid of Hiyori and Sanpei. So he swings 5 with Borsalino. I'm like, I'm not gonna take the 5. So I just counter out 1. I'm trying to think one because I had a lot of babies in hand, so I just like count out with Rocket Luffy. I showed him the Rocket Luffy, so he thinks that I didn't play the Rocket Luffy in hand, but it kind of really didn't matter anyway. And there was a Rocket Luffy. I was hoping that he swung first with Rob Lucci, so I can KO the Borsalino. But me KOing the Borsalino with Rocket Luffy is still really still in the same ballpark of the value. And he just takes back another 2K. So it's very reminiscent to the first game. He has, I think, 8 cards in hand at this point, with Rebecca drawing another card. So now on my fourth turn, I'm still looking for the rush ace. Like right now, I'm like, I need a rush ace. Like, give me a rush ace right now, and I'm cooking. It's 5. I don't think if I didn't at this point, I don't think I see the rush ace. I would have snapped it down like in a heartbeat. So I'm just trying to count things out now. I'm like, and I think me missing the rush ace. Okay, I played at the Luffy, and I think I just like, yeah, I think this turn I'm like, you know what? I don't see rush ace again. I know rush ace is gonna come. I just went through at least 14 cards in my deck right now. So like, you know what? I think I just play out the pudding right now. I'm like, I don't even want to play games right now. I just want to try to mill your hand a little bit more. I think he has 10 cards in hand. So I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. We're not playing that game. So I just drop out the pudding, makes him put his whole hand back. Like I said, now he has to rethink every game plan he had before. He doesn't have, and at this point, he doesn't even have stage. So I might even just giving him stage, but it's fine with me because now he has to rethink everything he had planned for the next turn. And sometimes I feel like after the pudding, every time after the pudding, I usually like ask him to cut, but you know what? I've been like, say it, just tap. Just like, no cut, just use your draw top 5. And I just attach 1 and I swing 8. So either he takes it or uses Rebecca blocker, fine. And then he's going into his 8 down turn now. I don't think he has much in trash to use. Like say he plays Moria, he gets back a Borsalino or Rebecca, and he can possibly get a 2K or a Sabo out of that. And I think a Spondine or Spondum is in trash as well. So if he does play the Moria, then he might be back in the ballpark at that point, but at the same time, he wouldn't be KOing anything. So it was just actually perfect for me. So now I actually have an extra swing with my pudding if I also choose to use her. Obviously I would, but you know, down management sometimes. So now he has to rethink. He's trying to think, well, I have 8 down now, so what am I going to do? And I don't have every game. I forgot. I don't have every game recorded. I did end up forgetting to record my Dragon game. I didn't click record on it. I played a Dragon player as well. I won that game, but it was unfortunate that I didn't hit record. That's how I would have all my games from the tournament. But yeah, he swings and I actually take it. I go down to 1 life. He drops pudding down to a 3 cost, and he has 5 down left. So he may even Kaku. Yeah, I think he just Kakus and pops the pudding. Yeah, and brings back 2 CP. And at this point, the reason why pudding is so nice to me sometimes, but they don't count out early, is because it deactivates the Tempest Kick. And then if he wants to KO card, a lot of the cards that he has in his hand or he has to use to KO revolve putting things back into his deck. Kaku, Lucci, Sabo is just discard 1, but a lot of the other cards that involve this is my 9 down turn. They involve putting cards back into the deck. And honestly speaking, I think I like, the more I play Lucci, I think I like going first more, because if I see my pudding, it allows me to be more aggressive more freely, right? Obviously, you don't want to give them 2 to give them the Gecko Moria play on their 4th turn. But sometimes, like, if I see my pudding, it kind of messes up that Gecko Moria play because they're going to be taking life because I'm going to be swinging so heavily or so high that they won't really be able to counter out. And now I'm like, okay, Oh, I think he was asking me if I could put it back on the top of my life, and I was like, wait. I was like, I've been playing this deck so much, I know you can, but I had to double check myself, and I set up my Rush Ace play right here. So I put the Rush Ace there. He has no blockers. He just had his hand cut with pudding. So me playing Ace right now, swinging a 7 then a 9. Either you have it or you don't. So I just swing 7 at face. If he has counter, doubt he has counter for that. If he does, that's 2 cards out of hand. And then I swing 9. If he has it, he doesn't. If he has it, dope. If he doesn't, that's now going down to 1 life. Now he's at 1. And at this point, I feel confident. He has a Kaku, a Lucci swing, and nothing else on board. I have a blocker, an ace, and 1 life. And I'm at 7. Right now, yes, he can play a Sabo or Lucci to KO both, but at the same time, he still does not have his stage. So he has to use a lot of resources to cut their cost down. And Tempest Kick is not active right now. So I put myself in a situation where Lucci has to use a lot of resources just to get rid of these 2 characters. And he already has a low hand size. So unless he has a Sabo. Obviously, if he has a Sabo, it's a different story because you can just use, I think a Suru gets you there. Yeah, a Suru gets you there. So, but that's 1 2K out of hand. And I think that's actually what happens. I think you get and I think he's rethinking. It's like, wait, I can't. I think he's rethinking it now because he's at 10 Dons. If he does play the Suru Sabo, he only has 1. He's not only using the 2K, but he still can't swing at face. Actually, man, he could swing at face with he Ice Ages. Okay, so he just gets it down to 0 cost. That's 1 card out of hand. And then he Suru. Okay, he Surus to get the other ace down, and he Sabo. So he had to use all Don just to get rid of that. He's still not at 10 cards in trash, so he still can't even use the thing next turn. And I think he just swings right now to fill his trash. And I like, oh wait, I'm at 7, so I don't really take life. He's like, oh yeah, whatever. Yeah, I forgot. So I just use it to fill my trash. So like, cool, whatever. We move. So now I'm like, okay, he has no blockers up, 3 or 4 cards in hand, 4 cards in hand. And I still think I have a baby ace in hand. So I was like, all right, I think I can still get there with another Rush Ace. And I went through like almost 20 something cards now. And I think that the rest of my Rush Aces have to be my deck. And yeah, so I was like, yep, there's the Rush Ace. Exactly what I'm looking for. No blockers up. So I tap 2 for Rush Ace. And I think I also have an Amaru to pump myself up a little bit more. So I'm like, I see blood in the water and I'm just going for it. Rush Ace, drops him out. Put him up to 9. Tap 2. Yep. Give myself Amaru. Puts him up to now 10. Rush the Suro. That's fine. So then I swing 11, 12. Yep. So I swing 11 at face. He only has 4 cards in hand. So everything has to be a 2K. Don't think he has it. Cool. Then I swing 12 at face. If he has it, he doesn't. And he doesn't have it. GG's. That's a good game. We have another Enel game. This one is a little bit more interesting. I think this one I don't really see a lot of the cards. I think he sees everything he needs to see, but I still think I also see what I need to see. So the deck really high rolled a lot for me throughout the day. So it's my second turn, I draw, and I just, like I said, I just go for it. If I'm going first, I'm starting to like going first a lot more. I know you want to go second to get the babies going, but if you can go first and be really aggressive and get him to like take life, then I'm sitting pretty. He swings at face, I take it, and then he drops 4 for Frankie. I'm like, okay, cool. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I don't want that Frankie to be a nuisance. So now I really want to see the combo of the baby big combo, right? So I attach 2, look at top 5. And I find what do I find? Do I whiff? Okay, I find a blocker ace. Okay. And I think I was relining, possibly seeing a Luffy later on, a Rocket Luffy. So I swing 8. The reason why I swing 8 is because I don't like, sometimes against Enel, I don't like playing out the body right away, because if I do, they can trigger into an Onami and just KO the blocker or KO the character. So sometimes if I on this turn where I have an extra down, I can swing 8. I'm just going to swing 8 first and then just play out. If they counter out 8, cool. But I rather have the body actually stay on board and not be KO'd by a trigger than it to happen. So I was like, you know what? That's fine. So now I'm at 7 and he's going to 4 down. And this, no, he's going to 6 down, sorry. So he can either attach 2 to Frankie and not establish anything else, or not. So he swings 7. Like I said, he's not gonna establish anything else. And I'm trying to think if I want to counter out of this or take it, but because if I take it and he swings 9, it might be a little bit too difficult to counter out. So I just counter out of that. He swings another 7. I take, and I think he just plays a Hiyori to set up something else. Oh no, he plays a Shirahoshi. Okay, cool. And with that, I think I set up another baby combo with that, with the 5-drop blocker ace. And I'm trying to count like, okay, what down am I at now? And I think, do I have enough to use a pudding? And when I learned, as I've been playing throughout this more, with the deck a little bit more, I realize now that I don't have to have the perfect numbers for a combo and pudding, and I can be completely fine still. And the reason why a lot of the times that I was trying to aim for the exact number to hit a pudding was that I felt more comfortable if I could hit the pudding on an 8 Don turn or a 9 Don turn. And because of that, I felt myself waiting for the pudding play. And when I waited for the pudding play, it allowed other things to happen. And that's kind of that was my downfall in the top 16. I didn't see a lot of, I could have played pudding earlier on, but I was waiting for that sweet spot when he had 10 cards in hand and I could really like make him like be pissed off that he has a lot of cards and got hit with a pudding. And because of that, I put myself in like bad situations, and I put myself behind a lot of the I put myself behind in a lot of the games, or in both games, because I was waiting for that perfect pudding opportunity rather than just playing the pudding out on like, maybe like in that situation, if I played a pudding out, like there's no negative to it. But putting myself back up to a 7K leader, if he wants to heal himself, he has to use almost all his Don, and I'm feeling perfect. Like, if he uses all his Don, that means he can't swing at face, and there is nothing he can play out that's going to KO anything on my board. He taps 7 and goes 8 at the rested Sabo, and I'm like, do I want to counter this? And right now, like something I even I'll tell you this a little bit later in the game. Like, he doesn't realize that the null effect is nullified because I have a Monkey D. Luffy on board. But after the game, I ended up telling them, because he was trying to say like, oh, I was thinking about saving the Enel rather than Second Life. But I was like, oh, you couldn't because Luffy was there anyway. He's like, oh yeah, well, you would have got me with that one. So I wonder how it would have played out. Like, we probably would have to have had a judge call if it did play out that way, but luckily it didn't. But right now, he has an Enel out. He has Shirahoshi, which is kind of annoying because I did want to pop it. But I'm like, do I really want to give him a second life? And actually, I'm thinking about it right now. I'm like, do I want to swing and then give him another life? So I tap 2, looking for another top. I think right now, I have both Monkey D. Luffy and Ace Baby. So if I see any of the 2, then I'm completely fine. And I see a Satori, so I missed on both of them. And with that, I think I still have a way to set up a pudding. So right now, right? So like I said, like this is like the times where I think that I'm misplaying, because if I didn't hit the Satori, then I would have never played the pudding. And because I never played the pudding, actually no, I probably would have still played the pudding. I think I'm at 9. But later in the game, like a lot of the times that if I don't see, a lot of times I'm going to try to find the big buy to put myself up to 7, where it would have been a better situation where I just played the pudding. I was playing a red purple, no, the red black, the black yellow Luffy, and I was trying to put myself up to a 7k body, but because I did that, it made it harder for myself to play a pudding later on. And because that happened, he ended up having like 12 cards in hand throughout the game, and I was never actually found a spot to play out the pudding. So the pudding became dead in my hand and just became a counter. So I was like, I have to realize in those situations that it's maybe better just to play a pudding rather than trying to go for the bump up to 7 or the big body, the big brother play is what I should say. So I play out Garp, look for a top 5. I grabbed the ace. He counted out and used a blocker to save his Enel, so that was big. And I think I'll just play a Flampe to grab the 2k and draw. And like I said, I don't mind doing this because a lot of, like I said, I net myself, I replace the 2k, and if I draw into another 2k or another card that can benefit me later for the next turn, I'm completely fine. Right now he's at 10 Don. I'm like, okay, he swings 5, so like I already know what's gonna happen. Him swinging 5 at face kind of like makes me know that he's possibly going to play a 10 drop ace, and he's in the perfect spot to play it. He's at 1 life. He has an Enel on board. I'm out at 7k. I have 2 life. And right now I'm trying to think, okay, should I take this or should I not take this? I hope I don't take this, because if I do, I'm getting a 7 to face and then a 10 to face. So I think I just counter out. Okay, I was trying to think what I should counter out with. That's what it was. I didn't want to use a baby, but I don't think I had anything else in hand to possibly use to counter out with that I'm looking to part ways with. So then he swings 7 at face. I actually don't know if I take this or counter out. I don't remember. I could take it. Okay. Remember, I still have my Satori in hand. He plays on the ace, and I think he swings at the Luffy. And I'm like, oh, okay. Or did he swing at life? Can't remember. I think he swung at the Luffy, and I was trying to think if I wanted to protect him or not, and how many cards it would cost to protect him, because I know I needed Luffy on board in order to get rid of that Enel. So I'm like, oh, what should I do? What should I do? I think I just end up sacking the Luffy. I'm trying to count how many times. So I'm trying to count how many times I use a leader ability and what should be coming up soon. And if I protect the Luffy, does that put me in like a negative? So I was like, okay, because I saw this amount of Luffy so far, I know that I should be expecting a Luffy in my top 5 to be played. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm fine getting rid of this Luffy. And then there's a Luffy there. I'm like, okay, cool. So it worked out the way I thought it was going to work out, because I didn't see that many Luffys early on. I think I went through already like 3 or 4 leader abilities. So I should be seeing a Luffy within the next top 5 very soon. And then I ended up tapping 2, playing out the big body, bumping myself up to 9. And now I'm like, okay, then I swing 9 at the Enel. So this is the part I was talking about. So he's thinking about, should I sack a life or get rid of the Enel or counter out with his hand? And this is very telling, right? So I don't think he doesn't realize that he couldn't like sack his life for the Enel. And this is very telling to see how much cards he actually has in, how much counter he has in hand. Because if he's not able to counter out an Enel, that means he doesn't have that many 2Ks, so he's trying to really protect his life. I play a Boa and I freeze the ace. He can't do anything. Yep, he can't attack. He's like, oh wow. So now he has 2 life, Enel. I have a full board. I'm at 7k. If he wants to heal, perfectly fine with me. But depending on how he plays it out. But now it all depends on how he plays it out. And he knows that next turn he's going to have not only the Luffy, the Boa, but also my leader and Pudding possibly swinging at face next turn. And he can't heal. He could possibly heal again with Enel. I mean, with another 10-drop ace, which would be really good because I put him at 3 life and then 2 aces on board. So we'll see how he plays it out. I see him detach 1. I'm like, okay, what could he be playing? Could he possibly be playing a Katakuri? Katakuri is very devastating, but no matter what, because I have Luffy on board, if he plays a Katakuri, it doesn't matter, because he puts whatever at bottom, then I can, maybe I have a baby in hand. And I think I have both babies in hand at this point. So if he does play a Katakuri, I think he's asking me what I have in trash. If he does play Katakuri and puts my Boa if he puts my Boa into life, that might hurt me. But I'm like, you know what? I can still get up to an 8k body with my Luffy and still get some things. So he plays the Flampe, he draws life. Now I'm starting to count his hand a little bit more, because I'm trying to figure out how many cards he has in hand. Then he uses a Raigo and he pops. Sometimes, what do you want to pop? He pops the Boa. Cool. And then he taps 2 for a Shirahoshi and then passes. So this is where I make this is the turn I make my mistake on. So I count how many cards he has in hand. I'm like, okay, cool. I can't go for game right now. He has 1 life. I don't have the big enough attackers to go for game. So, but I do still have babies in hand. So then I'm like, okay, cool. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tap 1. I'm gonna look for a Luffy or ace. I think either or is completely fine with me at this point. I see the rush ace. I snap it down, because I'm like, okay, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And honestly, to be honest, I could have went for game on this turn too with the rush ace. So I use baby ace, I put that down, and I swing 7 at face and go up to 9. From what I got the last 2 turns, he doesn't have that much counter in hand. He takes life, no trigger. He replaces it, cool. And then he tries to Yamato. I swing 9 at face, see if he blocks or takes. He has 4 in hand. But I still have my Luffy coming. I saw my Luffy attack coming. So he's like, oh, do I want to take or block? He takes it with the blocker. He beiges. So he beiges my Luffy anyway. So I couldn't even do it. I'm like, oh, you know what? That's completely fine with me. I still have 6 down up. so I could still swing with my pudding, but I'm like, I don't really want to do that either. That feels wrong too. So here's where I make my mistake. So I'm making room to play out my Boa Hancock. I'm asking how many cards he has in hand. He says 4. Okay, cool. So I tap 6. I play out my Boa. I freeze the ace again. I get rid of flampe. I freeze the ace again. And right now I forget the second part of Ace's ability. I mean, of Boa's ability, because I should have bottom decked the flampe. And obviously there's still going to be a Shirahoshi, so you can still use the Katakuri to put the Shirahoshi back in life. But then now the blocker is gone. So now I can still just swing at face. So he's like, okay, I'm just going to swing 7 at the rested ace. I'm just going to 1k out of that. That's fine with me. 1k or 2k Satori. He plays the ace, he plays the Katakuri, and he placed the flampe back in life. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, right, I should have got rid of the flampe. I mean, I should have got rid of the flampe, so he has to put the blocker back in life, and then it's just free attacks at face. But at the same time, I'm like, that's cool with me, because at this point, I had Amaru in my hand since like the first turn. So again, I use ace ability. I'm looking for a rush ace, because I'm looking for blood at this point. I'm not here for any of the triggers I could possibly play. I'm here for blood. I see a rush ace, snap it down. It's go time. So before I do anything, I'm gonna test his hand a little bit. I swing 7 at face, see what he does, see if he counted out or takes. I think he just takes this. Cool, perfect. Heals 1, and then I tap 2, play out the baby ace, deploy the baby ace, bring out the big ace, and then I swing another 7 at face, see what he does. I think he just takes it, looking for a trigger, no trigger. All right, so no more heals. I play tap 2, Amaru. I put on ace, and I swing 12 at face, and then he gets up to 13. And then I use Luffy ability, trust top card in my life, get him up to 8. And then I swing 9 at face, and you get Sabo. GG's, that's the game. And again, he's talking about, man, that pudding really messed me up, and then the bow was really freezing my aces, was really strong, and that's just how it is. Like if you it's crazy because like the crux of the deck is the babies and the big brothers, but when you see the blue cards hold, like they make the deck just run that much better. Like Boa helps so much, pudding helps astronomically. We have black yellow, and this is where our boy Sash, part of the Mr. Voodoo gang. He has black yellow Luffy, and I have blue yellow ace. Battle of the brothers. He actually put the leader right in front of him, so you can actually remember what it was. He chose, I think he went dice roll, chose to go second, and I'm going first. And I just passed my turn. He uses Garp. I think he used an event. I think he searched the baby, and then he uses Garp, and he searched the ace. So I'm like, okay, cool. So then I just swing 8, and black yellow Luffy, they're gonna take 9 times out of 10. Or 10, probably 10 times out of 10. I don't see them countering out most of the times, and I pass. So right now with him going second and him drawing everything, I think he should be at 8 cards now after the draw. It's 2, 6, so yeah, he should be 8 or 9 cards. Okay, math is hard sometimes. He just swings 5 at face, and I take, and he plays on the Garp. But because I keep, sometimes I tunnel vision too much, right? And because of that, it kind of bit me in the ass later on in the game I played in top 16. It's because sometimes I just want to take that 5 because it's just 5. I'm just gonna take it, but I leave myself open to get hit by a 5, 6, and a lot of the times I don't have the counter. So that 5, 6, I take both. So, but this is the 5, 5. So luckily he did play the Garp, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm completely fine. And I take the 6 because like now I'm like, okay, I have everything in hand and I'm completely fine with that. I have things in hand that I'm comfortable with. I think I have both babies in my hand, so like no matter which one I hit, I'm completely fine. But I end up taking the 2 5s, which is really interesting. So now I'm counting out. He doesn't have anything established. I'm just gonna hit Sabo, and because I have the Satori, I'm pretty cool with without playing the pudding this turn. And do I whiff on this? I do. I think that was my first whiff all day. I think that was my first and only whiff all day. So I whiff on the ace ability. I'm like, oof, okay. And now I'm stuck because like now I'm at 2 life, and he has he could possibly get going with an ace. If I swing at face and he has a Hiyori and he just goes into ace, I'm in trouble, like big trouble. So I'm like, do I swing? And I was like, oh, do I swing? I'm really contemplating, do I swing at face or just like swing at Garp and pass? Like, you know what? Risk it for the biscuit. I end up swinging. I'm like, because if I swing at face and he goes down to 2 and he has a Hiyori and he sets up an ace, he only goes to 7, but it's a 9-7 at face and I'm at a 5k body. So I just like swing. I think I'm swinging at face. I think I swing both at face, and I'm like, I want the Satori to be a very juicy target. I'm like, okay, he could use Hiyori and put them in. I'm trying to think how much, like, I'm trying to think the cards I have in hand, the 2 cards I have in hand, and if I could survive. I mean, obviously I have 2 left, so I'm gonna survive. But would I be okay if I go down to 0 life, being hit by an ace and a 9 cost, a 7 and then a 9? I'm trying to think, do I swing with the Satori or do I keep him up? But I'm like, I want the Satori to be bait, but at the same time, I don't want to put him in a situation that I just swing at the Garp and I got really no value for him. So I was like, you know what? Let's swing 5. Just swing a blanket 5 at Garp. And I tap 2 and I just play out the baby for the next turn. Or is it a Hiyori? Yeah, I put out the baby for next turn. And obviously, this could have gone bad because a lot of the black yellows run Thunderbolt. But I'm like, if you place Thunderbolt, I feel even better because that's using 1 card out of hand. He's trashing a life, and with that, because of that, he has to use another card to get himself down to 0. That'll be 3 Don, and he wouldn't be able to use his ability next turn. He wouldn't be able to use his ability and play something next turn. So you swing 7 at Satori. I'm like, perfect. He exactly what I wanted to do. He swung at Satori. He uses a Hiyori. He did that, and this is exactly what I was talking about. If he uses a Hiyori to play down an ace, then I'll be in big trouble. And I think Luffy. Okay, Luffy. He plays out Rocket Luffy, and he doesn't. Oh, he does pop it. He does pop. Okay, so he gets max value right now. He pops it, but thing is, we're both right now. He's at 7 life. He's at 7k, 1 life. I'm like, okay, cool. This is a pudding turn. This is exactly what I wanted. Like, I want him to have like a lot of cards in hand and me to play down a pudding. But right now, this is what I was also talking about, where this would have been a perfect pudding turn, regardless of if I hit the top or not. And I think I play out the Monkey D. Luffy, and I'm like, all right, I need to establish some bodies on board before anything gets crazy. And I'm like, all right. I realized it halfway through, and then I played the Flampe out instead of playing the baby Luffy, and then I put down a pudding. I was like, because originally I was going to play out the Luffy, but I was like, you know what? Maybe not doing that is better. So I play out the Flampe, and I make him reset his whole hand. So in this situation, I'm glad. So I caught myself in this situation, but in the top 16, I did not. Right? I caught myself. I was like, oh, you know what? It'd be better if I did not. It'd be better if I did not like play out the baby Luffy to go up to 7k, and I just like swing 7. Like, even though I swing 7, I'm still swinging. Even if I just swing 7, it's fine because either he's gonna take it or he has to give me a 1k out of hand. And with pudding resetting his whole hand, if he goes down to 0 life, obviously he can start procting his effect, but he's not gonna have all the pieces that he had originally. And yes, he may draw back into those pieces, but the chances of it aren't as likely as him already having it and him setting it up with the Garbs and the Searcher event. So I just swing 7 at face, see if he takes it or counters out. He's at 7, and he takes it. I think he triggers the 3 brothers, maybe, or does he? I'm like, oh, did he trigger the Rocket Luffy? So I was about to like KO my pudding. And at that point, I was also asking what he has in trash. He only has 3 cards in trash. He only has a Rocket Luffy, and I think the Rocket Luffy, the 3 brothers event, and I forgot what else he had in trash. Oh, and a Garp. So that's all he had in trash so far. So 2 Garps, yep. And I asked him again. 2 Garps, Rocket Luffy, and then the baby Luffy. And he takes, no trigger, cool, pass. All right, now he's at 8 Don. He's like, he can't use Moria yet, and I might have made him put Moria back in his trash, but now he's back up to 7 cards in hand after draw. And the thing is, for him to use ability, he's attached 2, and then it's 1 card out of the hand to put him down to 6, and then it's 2. And if he uses both of them, that's 2 more cards out of hand. So that's 6. Maybe he gets 1 from trash, and then maybe he gets 1 from hand. So that's 6 going down to 5. If he uses both, that's now 3 cards in hand. if you use the baby for both of them, that's not 3 cards in hand. So I'm like, okay, 3 cards in hand, unless one of them is a Sabo, then you better hope one is a Sabo. Is what I'm saying. Like, you gotta, because if not, then I'm at that point, I'm just like swinging for face. But yeah, so now he's thinking through, like, oh, what should I do? What should I do? He just swings an empty 5, and I'm like, an empty 5, but I remember that he can still proc his effect afterwards. Doesn't really matter. He can just attach 2 and do it. He still has 8 down up. He taps 3 for 𝑻𝒂𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉, so that he's going straight turtle. He goes 3 and 5, drawing 2 and trashing 2, which is perfect now. He's got 5 cards in hand, but now he has 2 blockers, and he could possibly find the pieces and 2Ks to protect himself going forward. And in my hand, I do have the Raging Tiger Blaze, Raging Tiger Sword. And I'm like, should I just do it and go for game? But I'm like, I only have 7. Was 7 get me there? So I tap 5 for ace, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna set it up for next turn. I'm just gonna set up like a big swing for next turn. Even though giving him, like, I know, like, it's like, Black Yellow Luffy is like Law. Like, Law, you don't want to give, like, red green Law, you don't want to give him extra opportunities to possibly elongate the game, because then it makes it worse. And especially since he's going to a 10 down turn next turn, it makes it even worse. And the thing is, like, again, like, they asked me what the effect does, and I pick it up to, like, I pick it up to tell him again, like, I know what it reads, but for some reason I keep reading it myself just to double check, because they aren't sure. Oh, I'm at 9 dot. Okay, so forget what I said. I'm at 9 dot. So I think I set up I think this is like, I think I was setting up yeah, I don't think I actually played the rush ace on this turn. I think I set up something completely different. I think I set up the rush ace. Oh wait, no, okay. I did. All right. Okay, I was like, yeah, you're right. I thought I was setting up the 7 drop Raging Tiger Blaze in life, but no, that wasn't the case. So I was swinging 7 at face. He blocks with Sabo 2K, and I'm like, you know, I'm not gonna KO the Sabo, so I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna go to face. And he KOs the 𝑻𝒂𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉, because if I swing at Sabo, he goes to trash, and then he procs the effect, and then the Gekko plays go in, and they're unkillable, like all that jazz. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna swing at face, give her the 𝑻𝒂𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉. But now he could possibly play a Moria, and then now all the shenanigans begin, putting up to a 9K leader, possibly having another blocker or multiple blockers. But yeah, I thought I played Hiyori, and then put the Raging Tiger Blaze back in life, but that was the game against Lucci earlier on. I thought I did it again, but he plays a Rocket Luffy. Rocket Luffy KOs the pudding. He wants to draw cards. So like, now I know he doesn't really have much in hand at all, and he's just trying to protect himself at all means possible. That means he has no baby combos, because he would have possibly used it already, and he just swings 10. I think he's swinging 10 at the rusted ace, which makes sense. Yeah. All right, I'm not gonna save that. And he trashes Kuzan, and he heals 2 Rocket Luffys back to back. Oh yeah, 2 Rocket Luffys. Flexing the AAs on me, man. I wish I had at least one. Oh, he puts 1 Rocket Luffy and one big Luffy. But right now I'm like, okay, now I'm at 10 down, and things are kind of getting dangerous. I kind of have to put myself in a situation where I can go for game, and right now I don't. I'm like, I don't realize I should be at 10 down right now, but I still haven't realized it. But I think I realized it a little bit later on. And I get a rush ace. I think once I start counting it, I'm like, wait, I should have 1 more down than I have right now. 1, 2, 3. I'm like, okay. Ace ability. All right, solitary. Okay, this is where I set up the Raging Tiger Blaze, the Raging Tiger Sword. And that's why I thought that I didn't have. That's why I realized that I was missing a Don, because like, oh wait, I should have 1 more Don. Yeah. Yep. Should have 6. Oh, I should have 7 after that. So I play Hiyori, pick him up. And I gotta remember to put it face down, because a lot of the times, like, because I've been using Ace's ability so often, a lot of the times I put it like, I like show the card and I put it back face up in my life. But I swing 7. He doesn't block or 2K out or double cards out. So I'm like, okay, now I really know what he has in hand. And I play out Rush Ace and I say go. Honestly speaking, like I kind of did this wrong, because what I should have done is the 7 swing with Ace. First, after I switched up with Garp, I should have swung 7 and then hopefully see what he does with his hand. If he counters out or takes life before I healed. So because I healed myself up to 3, I couldn't even use a Rush Ace ability because I was already at 3. And like I said, this is dangerous because the reason why I did. Oh no, I remember why I did it now. Because if he took both lives, he would have been back at 0, and he had no way to use to sack that last life. So if he did have Moria in hand, he couldn't use Moria and leader ability in the same turn. So that's why I didn't do it. Okay, I remember now. See, baby aces uses that. Because if you went down to 0, then you can possibly use the Moria effect right at the next turn, and then that would have been a little bit more dangerous. But because I didn't, then it was fine. And I was like waiting. I was like, okay, if he plays another Sabo, I should be cool, right? And also, I didn't want him to swing into the Ace and get rid of it. I wanted Ace to be a body for me to swing into next turn. So I wanted him to swing at my face. And the reason why I wanted him to swing at my face is because I put the Raging Tiger Blaze as my top life. So he swings 7 with Garp. I take, and then I bottom deck to Sabo. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he swings 9 at face, and I just take again. Because I'm at 3 life. Cool. So I remember now. Yeah, I didn't want to swing with the Ace because I didn't want him to attack the Ace, and I also want him to have to use something to get rid of that top life. And he discards a card and he heals 1 life, so he didn't even have another 5k in hand or in trash because of the bottom deck. So I'm like, that's 7, 3 cards in hand, 1 life, no blockers. I'm like, this is math, like, right? Can we just math this out right now? So I just swing 9 to see what's like, does he have the counter or not? Swing 9. Like, if he has a 2Ks or 2K, 1K, I'm like, okay, cool. I think he's trying to count it out himself. At this point, I think it's kind of, at this point, like, we both know, like, there's just no way. Like even with, I have possible 3 attackers plus the Garp. If I really need it, I could just put 5 on him, 1 on, I guess I'll put 5 on him and swing 7 at face as well. So he's trying to count to see if there's any way possible to survive this, being a 7k leader. Honestly, I could have probably swung higher. I probably could have swung instead of 9, I swung 11, make him take, and then swing 11 again. Actually, no. I think this way is safer. I think this way is safer. Swing 9. I think it's just 9-9. I think I just go 9-9-10 or 9-9. I think I go 9-9-9. He 2Ks, he double 2Ks. So he only has like either a 1K in hand or a 2K in hand. So I swing another 9 at face with blocker Ace. And there's 1 card in hand. He has to take that. Yep, it goes trash. And then I swing 10 at face. And he only has 2K. So GG's, man. And this is like the last game. And this is like the game, like, to me, I thought there was still 2 more rounds. What time is it? That's 5:40. I thought there was still 2 more rounds to happen. So I'm like, okay, this is round 7. I'm waiting for round 8. I'm playing Doffy. Doffy is blue decks in general are just very hard to play with this deck because even though you're blue as well, they can just get rid of a lot of things very easily. So I swing 8 at face. He takes. And I saw no Perona or no Doffy. So in my head, I'm like, okay, that means the 𝑻𝒊𝒌𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉 combo is coming down. Oh, he swung at empty 5s. So I was like, okay, 𝑗inbei's coming. So I think I want to counter a take. That's a dangerous take only because because he's swinging an empty 5, you know that the 𝑗inbei and then another warlord is coming down on the same turn, and then he plays the Weevil as a draw card. And in my head, I'm like, I need a pudding. I need a pudding because he's gonna keep drawing and drawing, and I draw no pudding. Right? I play a GARP. I look at top 5, and I think it's like 3 puddings. Like I think the first like 3 cards are all puddings, and I'm like, nice. But the funniest thing is, right, because I changed my deck last night before I submitted it. So in my mind, I'm like, wow, I just bomb decked all 3 of my puddings. But I didn't realize actually I was running 4 puddings, but I didn't realize it. So like I think there's another pudding in my life. So when I saw it, I was like, wait a second, when did I have 4 puddings in my deck? So after that, I had to go run and check my deck submission to make sure I had 4 puddings exactly, and I did have 4 puddings in my deck submission. But it was funny that I literally thought I only had 3 puddings, and I just bottom decked all 3 of them. I was like, okay, I tap 2, and then I play up the ace. So I'm putting myself up to a 7K body, which is perfect to me because I'm like, okay, that means he has to at least use some Don in order to swing at my face. And I tap 2. I think I'm trying to set up, and at this point, because I play out that blocker ace really early, I can set up another combo to put myself at 7K again, which is perfect because now it's going to cause some Don every single turn in order to swing at my face. So I swing 9 at face, and I think he just takes this. I don't think he counters out. Put him down to 3 life. So I'm like, damn, and I'm like, damn, he has so many cards in hand right now. It would be perfect for putting next turn or something like that. And then at the same time, he keeps swinging at my face, and I'm like, wow, if he hits a pudding right now, I'd be really upset. And I think this turn he just drops down a 4 drop pudding. I think he's just like, you know what? I don't want to. Okay. Maybe, okay, no, maybe not. It's not this turn. He swings 7 at face. I give him a 1K. And then, yeah, oh, he drops a Jinbei, and then he plays another card. So yeah, he draws another card after that. And I'm like, all right, man, his board is looking very dangerous. So in my mind, I was like, okay, I need a Raging Tiger Sword. I need a Raging Tiger Sword. I need a Raging Tiger Sword because his board is going to get very big, very fast, and it's not going to be cool. But I'm like, okay, I already set up this play to go up to 7 and play another body out, so I'm completely fine for now. But I want to draw into my Raging Tiger Sword. And then I look at top 5, and I think it's an Amaru and a Raging Tiger Sword, and I'm like, yeah, it's just not my day apparently. So I'm like, okay, how do I want to set this up? I just put it back because I don't think I have any of the five costs in that hand either. I think that was the only one with ace that I set up the turn previously with the blocker ace, and I play out the racer, the baby ace to deploy the big ace. Put myself up to 9, and I don't think I can rush. I think I'm at 3 life. So I'm like, okay, I know he has he possibly has the gravity blade, so I'm just gonna swing 9 now. Or swing 8 now, and I can't swing with ace because I'm still at 3 life, so it's whatever. So I was like, okay, and he gives me 3 cards. I was like, oh, good. So I don't even need the pudding. It's fine. And I swing 9, and I think he just takes. Cool. And I tap 1. I think I play out a GARP. Yeah. Possibly looking for another baby to keep the trend going to keep myself at 7. Because if I do, I'll be cool. Oh, okay. I didn't see a baby. I'm like, okay, let me try to set up some of the bottom 5s. At this point, I think now in the point of the game, those bottom 5 will not matter to me. I probably won't be able to see them again, especially with all the bodies he has on board. It's very highly unlikely. And to me, I wonder. Let me see how it plays out. I think I'd take a life. Oh, he swings 6 at the rested ace, and I counter out of that. He swings another 6 at that. And I think I give it up. I don't want to use another 1K because I know that there's a gravity blade coming, and I was like, if he has gravity blades, I'm like, I should be okay because I get he has no more swings at phase, so I'm cool. But I think he, instead of a gravity blade, I think he drops the boa. Yeah, he drops a 6-drop boa, which kind of is like a little bit worse. He drops boa, and then he bottom decks one of the GARPs. There's 3 of them, so it doesn't really matter which one. And I'm like, and when he did that, I'm like, oh yeah, you can bottom deck the 1-drops after you're done. And he's asking me how much down he should have up. I'm like, yeah, you're at 8. You only use 6 for this turn, so you should have 2 down left up. And then he swing 7 at face. I take. And I'm like, okay, all right. I can't swing at face. I don't know if I have the combo at the top of my deck right now. He has 5 bodies on board. If I can't get up to 7 or draw a gravity blade, I'm screwed. And I already bottom deck, I think, both my gravity blades. I'm like, this is bad. So I play out the 5-drop blocker, and I'm hoping to draw into a baby to set up a turn at 9 down. And I think I do. I think I literally, like, this is like luck of the draw right here. I think I do. And also establishing a blocker is perfect too. And I use ace ability right after that. And I Rocket Luffy. And at this point, I'm trying to think, trying to think if I should use Rocket Luffy's ability to pop one of the characters on board just to get an attack off my body. But I was also thinking that if I don't use Rocket Luffy's ability, then if he does do a gravity blade, then he's only getting rid of 2 bodies, and I still have that 1 body to possibly go for game. I bump myself up to 9, and then I swing 9 at face. I just want him to get down so low that it doesn't even matter anymore. I wanted to put him in position that I can go for game at any point if I see the right cards. And that's exactly what happens. So he takes life, and at this point, I think he has like 8 cards in hand because he hasn't really used that many cards throughout. And I'm just thinking maybe he might drop like a 9-drop Mihawk, 10-drop Kaido. There's so many possibilities right now, but he has so much cards in hand, and usually a lot of them are 2Ks. So I'm like, okay, without a pudding, and with his hand size being so heavy, even if I swing at game, he may just be able to counter out with all the 2Ks. So I'm like, all right, this is gonna be difficult. And I think he doesn't even waste turn time. I think he just gravity blades, gets rid of 2, then swings 8-7-7 or 9-7-7, something like that. But he still has 2 attacks on Doffy. He doesn't realize, and then he takes it off afterwards after realizing. But yeah, Blue Doffy was very. I don't think he even used the effects, his leader ability, the entire game. Now that I'm looking at it again, I don't think he did. But right now, I asked him how many cards he has in hand. I'm trying to think, okay, how many could be 2Ks? And he has 8 cards in hand right now. So I'm like, I'm just trying to do the math. Like, if I do decide to go for game, like, is it possible with that many cards in hand? And if not, is it possible that I can possibly like clear board or to put myself in a position that even if I don't see the cards I need to see, that he can't go for game? I'm still at 7K. Right now, he's trying to decide if he should get rid of my board or try to establish something else or just do a lot of big swings at face through my blocker. Honestly, I think a lot of big swings would have been like a 7, 7, 7, 7, 10. Like, to be honest, like I don't have that many cards in hand, so those 7s would have been very lethal to me. I think I must say I would have lost off of that. I don't remember what I had in hand, but I don't think I would have lost if all 7 hit. But he would have definitely put me in a very bad situation. But then he taps 7. He does gravity blade. I asked him which ones. It's probably the ace, the blocker, and the higher cost body, higher body. So I was like, okay, cool. And then we go 7. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to count. I'll give him 1. I get 2K. So yeah, I didn't have that much in hand at all. It gives me 7. I take it. That's why. Okay, that wasn't the pudding. That wasn't the pudding. I think that was an Amaru, maybe. Yeah, I think that was an Amaru, and I was trying to think if I should heal my life again, but I take it back. So I was like, okay, cool. And then he swings 9, and I just take. Yep. So in my mind, I'm like, yeah, it's game or nothing. No blockers, 8 cards in hand. It's like I gotta go for game or it's game because I there's not much I could do at this point. I think maybe I might have drawn into a blocker after that, maybe. And then I was like, okay, I could put a blocker up. I can possibly KO both those 6 costs. I could use Rocket Luffy's ability to possibly pop 1. So I did a lot of deliberating because I was really trying to think because like this is game or like this is like the deciding turn. Like if I have to go for game now, and I was trying to think, is there any possible way that I can make it so I can last one more turn? And I think I had one way to heal myself. I think I had 1 Hiyori in hand. So I leader ability, and right now I think I'm looking for a rush ace. Then that's what I'm looking for. I think the last card. Yep, the last. Oh, it was a Rocket Luffy. Okay, forget it. I'm about to hype myself up, but the last card I drew was a rush ace. Now, so now I'm thinking, okay, how am I gonna do this? And it's lucky, like I was saying, if he did use Gravity Blade, it's lucky that I didn't pop the Luffy to KO one of the cards, because I probably would need another buy to possibly go for game next turn, which actually ended up happening. So now I'm just trying to think. Okay, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, maybe 7 cards in hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he has 7 cards in hand, so that should have been a 7 instead of 8. So I'm trying to think, okay, is there any possible way I can go for game? And in my mind, okay, I was like, all right. I was trying to think that maybe I can just use the ability, bring out the Rocket Luffy, and then just swing really big into the Boa to try to get rid of it, even though he has 7 cards in hand, and then pop the 2 Weevils and draw 2 more cards and maybe survive for game. But I'm like, that just doesn't feel right at all. So I'm just like, okay, how can I possibly go for game right now? Would me using the baby Luffy help me in this situation? It gives me a +2, a net 2. Actually, I don't even think I need the Rush Luffy, to be honest. I mean, the baby Luffy. But I'm trying to think of all the pathways I can possibly go about this. So I'm like, I asked him how many cards he has in hand. I'm like, all right, how should I do this? How should I do this? How should I do this? Like, I didn't want to attach the Don and then just be screwed. So I'm really trying to think this through. I'm trying to think, if I play out the Rush Luffy, play out the Luffy, then I'm in a better situation. I'm trying to count out my Don. So right now I still have 8 Don unattached. But I'm like, I have to make this first one either. I was like, I have to hit. Like, I have to hit all my attacks. Like, if my attacks miss at any point, then I lose. So then I tap 2 and I Amaru, and I put myself up to 710. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At 10, I was like, maybe 11 can get there. So I swing 11 at face. And I'm like, maybe it might get there. Maybe not. But we'll have to see. I was trying to think, if I were to use the baby Luffy and put him out, would I be able to get to a higher number? I would have been at 9, I would have been at 11, I would have been at 12. But that would have cost me a lot more Don. Tap 2 put me to 9, swing 11, yeah. So then he counts out, he goes, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we had to use 5 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards just to counter out of that. I'm like, he just used all 1Ks. So I'm like, if he used all 1Ks, then he should definitely have only 1Ks in hand. So I'm like, okay, let's swing 6 with Garp and see if he does. And he's like, all right, I took, and I was like, oh, my heart skipped a beat. I was like, I had a Red Rock, but Red Rock's only 4 or less. And then he Red Rocks the Garp, and I just swing 7 at face, and he only has a 1K. Oh, he has nothing in hand, so it was GG's. So yeah, that was, he's like, oh man, that was a rough one, because I think what he was saying, that if he were to not have countered, if he were to have taken the first life, instead of countering out, he would have been able to counter out of the second 11, and which is, I think, is correct, because he the only thing I could have done is 11-11 with Luffy and my ace. So he was saying that if he had just took the first life and then counted out of the second 11, he would have won, which, true, he would have won that, but he didn't think it through when I swung the first 11, and I think he wanted to protect himself because he didn't know what I was going to do after that. And because I had the Rocket Luffy, so I think he was just like overthinking it, but he counted out of that one, and then I just ended up swinging 6 and then 7, and I got there. So that was my first 7 matches, and it was funny because it kind of came down to Amaru the first game and the last game to get into Top Cut. The first game, I literally was looking for the Amaru. I set it up so I could see the Amaru. I literally found the Amaru and I put it back on the top of my deck because like I just woke up. I had a complete mind fart on that moment. I was like, damn, that was what the car I really needed. And then at the end, they brought me the Amaru and it got me that one extra that I needed. Obviously, he could have counted out the second hit, but he didn't. But that's how the card games go sometimes. It falls in your favor, sometimes it doesn't. And that's literally how I showed the dichotomy of both the situations in the first game and the last game. But those are all my 7 rounds or 6 rounds that I had for my Blue Yellow Ace run into Top Cut in the Eggman case tournament. Unfortunately, for the Top Cut, I wanted to go over those games too. But like I said earlier, like, because there were going to be 4 people in the Discord call, I hid those in my screen as well, so I can only see my opponent's screen and not like my screen as well. So I couldn't really see what I was doing. So I'm gonna wait for Eggman to drop the video or the VOD of the tournament on their side, and I'm just gonna react to that and then go over my mistakes in that game and then post that video. But like I say, like I say at the end of every single video, leave a like and a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. How'd you guys like the games? What do you guys think I could have done better? What do you guys think I should do better in the deck? If you guys like the leader, if you guys want to see more games with the leader, but let me know. And also, guys, I'll drop my Discord link down in the bottom. So if you guys want to join the Discord, run some games, jam some games, talk about the One Piece or talk about One Piece trading card game, it's gonna be down in the link below, down in the bio below. But until next time, y'all, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching the videos. Peace.